a dark and stormy night, I found myself trapped in a strange and terrifying dream. The torrential rain was hammering against the windows, and the lightning repeatedly illuminated the darkness. My dream seemed to begin like any ordinary dream, but soon it turned into a nightmare I could never forget. In the dream, I woke up in the middle of the night, feeling an intense heat and the acrid smell of smoke in my room. I jumped out of bed, my heart pounding wildly in my chest, and opened the bedroom door. Before me, I saw the hallway engulfed in flames, rapidly spreading up the walls and ceiling. Panicking, I screamed and tried to escape the house, but the front door was tightly shut, its handle scorching to the touch. I felt suffocated, and the fire was closing in. I couldn't get out, and there was no way to call the firefighters. I was a prisoner in my own nightmare. I leapt out of the window, hoping to escape the flames, but instead of landing on solid ground, I fell into a dark and endless abyss. When I tried to scream, no sound came out. In an instant, I was back in bed, drenched in sweat, and my heart beating irregularly. I realized it had been just a dream, but I still felt the imagined heat of the flames on my skin, and the pungent smell of smoke lingered in my nostrils. However, I dismissed it as a regular nightmare, trying to calm myself. But this dream would return night after night, like a sinister warning of an impending disaster. I began to wonder if there was a deeper meaning to these dreams, if they were forewarnings of a tragic event on the horizon. I wondered even more if that burning house truly represented my own home, or if it symbolized something else, a part of my life that was about to collapse catastrophically. The dream of the burning house haunted me more with each passing night. During the day, I spent hours searching for meanings in books and online, trying to understand why this nightmare tormented my sleep. I didn't know if it was just a dream or a terrifying premonition, but I couldn't ignore it. I discovered that dreams of fire are often interpreted as symbols of transformation or significant changes in one's life. However, the sense of panic and helplessness I felt in my dream was overwhelming, suggesting that this change could be a destructive one. What worried me the most was the dark silhouette I saw in the dream, seemingly reveling in the destruction. I decided to confide in a trusted friend, Emma, who was passionate about dream symbolism. She listened attentively and suggested that the dream might be linked to my deep-seated fears or the feeling of losing control in my life. Moreover, she told me that the dark silhouette could represent a shadowy or negative part of my own psychology that I had not yet acknowledged. However, with each night that the dream returned, I felt that there was more to it than just a metaphor. I remembered every detail, every sensation, and wondered if the dream would become a reality. I started to become paranoid, checking the security systems of my house and ensuring all equipment was in working order. As the days passed and the nightly dreams of the burning house persisted, my friends and family grew increasingly concerned about my mental state. They suggested I consult a dream interpreter or psychologist to help me understand and overcome this obsession. But I was convinced that the dream held a deeper significance, a warning of an impending, terrifying event. Little did I know that I would soon discover the true meaning of this sinister dream, and that the events that were about to unfold would be more terrifying than the dream itself. With each passing day, my obsession with the dream of the burning house grew. I was determined to uncover what this haunting vision meant, and whether it was connected to a real event or just my deep-seated fears. I began keeping a journal, documenting every detail of the dreams, every emotion I felt during them, and any apparent clues. I sought the help of a psychologist to delve into my subconscious and better understand what might be lurking behind this recurring nightmare. The therapy sessions helped me discover that my deepest fears were tied to the fear of losing control in my life and the dread of devastating changes. During one session, my psychologist, Dr. Walker, noted that I had mentioned the dark silhouette in my dream seemed to revel in destruction. This observation led Dr. Walker to speculate that there might be a connection between this silhouette and a person or situation in my life causing me anxiety. I was encouraged to explore this hypothesis and analyze my relationships and life circumstances. While I continued to dig deeper into my subconscious, an unexpected event unfolded. After months of dreams of the burning house one night, I felt the heat and the acrid smell of smoke during my sleep. I woke up abruptly, and this time, it was not a dream. Fire was engulfing my house in reality. I jumped out of bed and rushed to the bedroom door. Although I opened it easily, the hallway was already engulfed in flames. Thick smoke filled my lungs and my vision blurred from the heat and choking fumes. Panic-stricken, I screamed to warn my family, but just like in the dream, my voice seemed to be swallowed by the flames. I managed to reach the front door and tried to open it, but it was locked, just as it had been in the dream. I pounded on it, desperate to escape the burning house. Smoke and heat overwhelmed me, and the sense of helplessness was paralyzing. Ultimately, I felt the suffocating smell of smoke become unbearable, and my consciousness gradually faded. With my last ounce of strength, I called out my family's names, but my words were swallowed by the terrifying flames. With my last strength, I continued to fight for survival. As the flames surrounded the house and dense smoke enveloped me, I gathered my thoughts and made quick decisions. I had to escape this deadly trap, with or without my family's help. I dropped to all fours to avoid inhaling the thick smoke and began shouting my family members' names again, desperate to warn them of the danger. With each shout, I felt my voice spreading throughout the house while the flames advanced menacingly. Without any response, despair consumed me, but I couldn't stop. I approached the window and tried to open it, but it was blocked, and the acrid smell of smoke seeped through every crack. I took a deep breath and attempted to exit through the balcony. The smoke was so thick that I could hardly see anything outside the house. I was surrounded by the eerie crackling of flames and sparks flying around me. With one last effort, I managed to grab the railing and pull myself outside. I collapsed on the grass, gasping for air and burning from the heat of the flames. In that moment, I realized my family was not outside with me. My heart weighed heavy with grief and guilt as I realized I had not been able to warn them in time, or perhaps they had tried to escape in a different direction. I didn't know what had happened to them, but I knew time was crucial. I made the decision to go back inside the blazing house, driven by desperation and the hope that, just maybe, I could find them alive. Entering the devastated house was a daunting task. Firefighters urged me not to go in, to wait outside for my own safety, but I couldn't leave my loved ones in the chaos and destruction of that infernal calamity. I ventured carefully, avoiding being injured by the charred debris and remaining dangers. The flames had been extinguished, but our home had been transformed into a nightmare. The walls were covered in ashes and soot, and the burnt smell infiltrated every nook and cranny. I shouted my family members' names once more, hoping they would respond, or that I would find them somewhere in this devastated house, scared but safe. As I explored the charred ruins of the house, I arrived in the living room where my family had once rested. And there, amidst the ashes and chaos, I found a photograph I knew well. It was a picture of our family, happy and smiling, taken years ago. A lump formed in my throat, and my heart ached, remembering the beautiful moments we had spent together. At that moment, I heard a voice whispering my name. I turned abruptly, feeling a shiver run down my spine. In a corner of the living room, in a dark space shrouded in the shadow of smoke, stood the dark figure I had seen in the dream of the burning house. It was there, in the flesh, or rather, in a sinister appearance that defied logical explanation. It was a silhouette shrouded in darkness, devoid of distinct features, but with shining eyes that gazed at me menacingly. I tried to scream, but the words died in my throat. I attempted to approach, to understand what this malevolent presence was, but as I got closer, the figure seemed to dissolve into the darkness and withdraw into itself. I heard the voice again, the same voice whispering my name, but this time, it was a terrifying whisper, like the wind howling through the trees. My heart pounded in my chest, and fear made me tremble. This silhouette, this terrifying presence, was undoubtedly connected to the dream of the burning house and the real fire that had destroyed my family and our home. I stood there, frozen in terror, my eyes fixed on the dissipating silhouette. It seemed as though the very essence of fear had taken form, and I was trapped in its chilling grip. The room, once filled with the warmth of family memories, now echoed with the ghostly whispers of a sinister force. I called out, "Who are you? What do you want?" The figure remained silent for a moment, the glowing eyes narrowing as if assessing my soul. Then, a cold voice. "I am the embodiment of your deepest fears, the harbinger of destruction, the sign you have ignored until now. But now it is too late." I shuddered at his words, realizing that this entity was somehow linked to my subconscious, a manifestation of the warnings I had dismissed for so long. "Why did you do this? Why did you take my family away?" I asked, my voice shaking with pain and anger. The silhouette seemed to shift, as if contemplating its response. "I am not the cause of your loss. I am merely a reflection of your own inner turmoil," he replied cryptically. "You ignored the signs, the dreams that tried to prepare you for the inevitable. Now you must face the consequences of your blindness." A wave of guilt washed over me. The dreams, the warnings I'd pushed aside as mere imagination, had been trying to save my family. I'd failed to decipher the message until it was too late. Anguish and regret clawed at my heart as I realized the enormity of my mistake. "Is there a way to undo this? Can I bring them back?" I pleaded, desperate for a chance to right my wrongs. The figure remained enigmatic, its form wavering like smoke in the wind. "The past cannot be changed, but the future is yet to be written." With these words, the figure began to fade, its presence diminishing until it was only a lingering shadow in the charred ruins of my home. Left behind with my thoughts and a newfound resolve, I knew I had to find a way to atone for my mistake. As the shadow faded, I heard the whispers of my families, a string of soft, familiar voices weaving into a chorus of enigmatic words. It was as if they were present in the world beyond, but at the same time, they were reaching out to me beyond the veil between worlds. They urged me not to stop, not to give in to the darkness, and to continue my quest to understand the mystery that brought so much suffering into our lives. In the days that followed, I immersed myself in research, seeking knowledge about dreams, premonitions, and the interconnection of the human mind with supernatural forces. I consulted experts, studied ancient texts, and explored the mysteries of mysticism to understand the true nature of the warnings I was given. In my journey, I discovered that the mind holds an incredible power, capable of transcending the boundaries of reality and connecting with the unseen forces of the universe. Armed with this knowledge, I began a spiritual quest, honing my mental and spiritual faculties to decipher the cryptic messages that could guide me to a future free of tragedy. As I delved deeper into my own psyche, I faced my fears and insecurities, embracing them as part of my being instead of rejecting them. I learned to listen to the subtle whispers of intuition, recognizing the wisdom that resided deep within my soul. Months passed, and I felt a transformation in me. I was in resonance with the subtle energies of the universe, able to feel the vibrations of the unseen world. One night, as I was meditating in the quiet of my new home, a vision came over me. In this vision, I was standing in a place enveloped in ethereal light, surrounded by the spirits of my family. Their eyes held a mixture of love and forgiveness, and I knew they had found peace in the afterlife. They were freed from the earthly chains that bound them, and in their freedom, they gave me one last message. With tears streaming down my face, I listened to them weave their voices, creating a harmonious melody that resonated at the core of my being. "Live, and live with a purpose," they whispered, their words imbued with profound wisdom. "Seek each moment, heed the warnings of your dreams, and let love guide your path. Through the experience of life, you honor our memory and find redemption." As the vision faded, I was left with a profound sense of clarity. I understood that life is a delicate fabric, woven with threads of joy and pain, love and loss. The key lies in how we navigate this intricate fabric, learning from our mistakes and embracing the beauty of existence. Armed with this newfound wisdom and the guidance of my deceased family, I emerged from the shadows of my past, reborn with a purpose. I have dedicated myself to helping others, using my knowledge to decipher the cryptic messages of their dreams and guide them to a future of awareness and love. The nightmare of the burning house had irrevocably changed the course of my life, transforming me from a victim of fate to a beacon of hope for those lost in the mysteries of the universe. And as I moved forward, carrying the lessons of the past and the love of my family in my heart, I knew I was no longer trapped in the darkness of fear. I had emerged from the ashes of the past, reborn and resilient, ready to face whatever challenges the future might bring. Even in the face of the most terrifying nightmares, the human spirit can endure,